Welcome back. In this video, we will go over VLAN, basic VLAN information, and why we would use these. Let's get started. Here's our setup. We have a PC, PC1 and PC2, and we have a switch. And nothing is configured right now. Our switch has no configuration on it. The only thing that we have is that the PC have their IP addresses assigned. We will use a 1.1.1.10 network for these. So if we come into our switch, we will start configuring. But please take a moment and subscribe to the channel. Please give a like, and I will be making more videos for you as we go along. Today it's just basic VLANs. And here we go. If we do a show run, we will see we have no configuration on this switch, no VLANs, no nothing. Okay. So let's get started. Now if we go into the PCs, and these are just basic routers that I have set up as a PC, so we're not going to run any configuration on them except their IP address. They should be able to ping each other, so let's do a show IP interface brief. And like I said, it's just a regular router, but we're just going to use it as a PC right now. We're not going to worry about any other configuration except that it has an IP address. Let's see, here we go. I've minimized this too much, so there we go. 10.1.10.11, and this one should be show IP interface brief. This one should be 1.1.10.22, and here's their connectivity. By default, these ports should be enabled on a switch, and if they're not, then you would have to no shut them, but these are all available. So once you have connectivity, they're up. So that's the connectivity here. G0 goes to PC1, G01 goes to PC2. So they should be able to ping each other. 1.1.10.11. So from PC2 to PC1, and we do have connectivity. Now there's nothing configured on the switch, but nowadays switches come and they're ready. They're pretty much plug and play. You plug in a device, it starts working, but this is not what you want. We should never use VLAN 1 as our production VLAN. And right now, you see, the reason it's plug and play is that every single port is assigned to VLAN 1. We don't want that, so we need to start changing it. Now let's go into interface G00, and the way we enable this, let's do a question mark so you can see all the commands that are there. One easy way to remember this is that we're working on a switch. So the command would start with switch port. So we do a switch port, and now what? Switch port. Let's set the mode. Switch port mode access. That's the command that you use when you're connecting to another device. Now remember, PC1, even though in this scenario we're using a router, but just imagine that it's a PC. So PC1 is switch port mode access, and let's assign it a VLAN. How do we do that? Switch port access VLAN, and this is 1.1.10. So let's say that 10, it's a third octet. Let's say that that's the VLAN, switch port mode access VLAN 10. That's it. The VLAN is not created, so when you shoot off that command, it will create the VLAN for you. Now let's go into interface G01, which is the connection to PC2. But now that let's run a simple test so that we can see something here. Let's exit configuration mode. Let's do a show VLAN. And now we could see that VLAN 1 G00, which is the connection to PC1, is now on 10, but GI01 is on VLAN 1 still. So can PC2 ping PC1? Let's see. And I think it's gonna time out. And why is that? Well, it's simply because they're on different VLANs. So let's go into port G01 and let's configure the same commands. And if you up arrow, you can just save some typing and we'll make it VLAN 1. Can we ping? And it might take a little bit of time, but eventually it should be successful. The ARP entries have to clear out. Let's try again. Let's exit out of here and let's do a show MAC. And there you see that the ping is now successful. So when we do a show MAC address table, we could see that it knows the device MAC. If you're ever troubleshooting, this is one way to look at it. Find what your MAC is on your device. This is the MAC for PC1 and this is the MAC for PC2. Find out what it is, run this on your switch, and it will tell you which port is letting you know about that MAC address. Very simple troubleshooting. So as you can see, now that they're both in VLAN 10, they can ping each other. And there's VLAN 10. It has GI00 and GI01. So now that they're both in the same VLAN, they can talk to each other. Now, why is this important? Well, you want to segregate your traffic. Traffic can flow in many directions, and you want to make sure that those that belong on the same network are on the same network. It's the beginning, you could say, of your security. If every single device on your network remains on VLAN 1, you will run into security issues. You're not protecting yourself from the lower layers of the OSI model. So it's a good idea to learn that, and do not just plug and play something on a network. If you don't have equipment, you can use this GNS3 like I have here. If you do have home internet, you already have the capacity to set up VLANs. Just about every single home router access point that you may have has the ability to set up VLANs. And when you set up the VLANs, you could protect yourself even at home. Well, this was just a short tutorial. I wanted to start off this series with a basic VLANing. In a future video, we will talk about a little bit more, go deeper into how VLANs work and what you would need to do if you were hopping from one switch to another switch. So we'll see you in the next video.